Fees and disbursements are captured as unbilled and invoiced on demand, typically when a matter is finalized or demands an event in the case of a long-running matter. The first thing is to select the matter. That could be done by searching for the matter, or in this example I'll use the diary. If I click on the due and I select the matter that's due for action today. So I get details on the matter. As I scroll down or hit enter, I get to the section that's capture fees. I can either capture time-based fees, unitary fees, or disbursements. So if I start with time-based fees, you can use a timer. You can start a time or pause a timer, or you can simply enter the time. So if I select activity, I will have a number of options here, but these are totally customizable. So this is just the very basic options. So I'll start with consultation, and what the system has done is picked up my standard hourly rate. So you could have multiple rates. So you could have a high rate, standard rates, and you can have even particular rates for clients or for groups, like for banking clients or for insurance companies, etc. And so each attorney in the firm or each fee earner would have their set of rates. So this fee level can also be set on the matter. So when you come into a matter, it will automatically pick up the correct rate. The date defaults to today. The narration is simply whatever activity I've selected, and that I can expand on. I could change, I could do anything. So I could say to review agreement, for instance. The time, LawPractice by default works in per 6 minutes or tenths of an hour, which is the national international standard for lawyers, but that is totally customizable. You can change that, but we recommend sticking to that. Just include it in your terms of engagement. So this would, for instance, calculate as 0.8 of an hour. And on the invoice, it's also can customize whether you want to reflect the minutes or if you want to reflect it as fractions of an hour. If I save this, that entry is now saved as an unbilled fee. So it's been added to the list here. If I go up and, for instance, now put a unitary fee in, and typically, again, these are totally customizable in terms of the amount or the list that you want to include. If I, for instance, say to client's head office, recommend that you add details so that it's on the invoice. You could also, it's got a spell checker that doesn't recognize this as being a valid spelling. So if I right click, so it depends what spell checker. If in head office, well, it runs 2 words. So it does check your spelling as you go along. Let's say that was 45 kilometers then back. If I type that in, and this is set to 295, of course, that's a bit outdated, I would think. So you can simply customize this to say 450 or whatever rate you would charge, or you can have even different rates for different people depending on the AA rate. If I save that, I now have my traveling cost. You'll see this will be in the latest entry to the latest entry first. If I do a pro forma, which is like it's a equivalent of an invoice without doing any updating. So it's simply so that you can check the data, check the invoice as it would appear before you invoice, and therefore committed to an accounting entry and VAT, etc., and tax. And you could do it internally or send it to your client. And that's what the invoice set will have, all the details calculated, summarized. You could also include, which is normally done in fact, your banking details here, so that when the client gets this, they know which bank account to pay into, and by by adding this reference number, when you import your bank statement, you can post directly from the bank statement. There's a very clever option called auto suggest that will in fact tell the bookkeeper or suggest to the bookkeeper where it should be posted to, and by one click it will update the bank, update the matter and reconcile the bank all in one.